Hello, and welcome to Steel Division 2 in this game number 2 of Babaryann versus Fitz. I gotta set my audio devices correctly and make sure the sound's working. And it is. Perfect. Well, thank you all for joining me tonight. We do have an interesting game here. Fitz having won the other game on Orsha. Which Orsha is this? Orsha North, I want to say. Or no, not Orsha. Slutsk. This is the regular Slutsk. Wow. You can tell my brain is working. So anyway, what have we got bring to the field? Well, let's go through the bands first. The map bands. So the maps that they picked out were Gora, Kawalia, Slutsk, Karsha, Talihantia, and Krupa. All the rest getting banned, and Slutsk coming out on top. I've been seeing a lot of Slutsk games recently. Also having lost to Bowser on this very map from the side Fitz here is on. And these divisions are Tatra versus 8th Indian. Panzer Division Tatra being very, very good at spamming light infantry, although from the looks of things, they've just got a bunch of Volkssturm coming out. I have a very nasty version of this deck, which is 90% Landesschützen. And they do have an MG, and they come in at 15 points. I just dump 100 points worth of infantry on 2 different flanks, so the enemy collapses. It's quite interesting in that regard, but from the looks of things, Fitz not going quite for that tactic just yet, but we'll let them deploy and see how things go out. ACP off-map start here. Always good to see an off-map start on this map. It is very powerful from both sides, either off-map this position or off-map this position over here. And if you do manage to force your enemy off this hill in the first little while, and these units are disheartened, so they will fall back. But I do believe he is following it up with a Führer. Getting pushed off this hill is very, very dangerous for this for the blue player, just because it then puts this flag in contention if you are not able to keep a presence at the bottom of this hill, but then also gives excellent support fire positions all over this ridge here without needing to worry about sneaky AT guns in this position or anything like that to the red player. And if you can get some 2k HE up here or even a 17 pounder, you can shut off this reinforcement road and take this flag very easily. But with that, let's go through the deployments. I do believe they're getting somewhat close to ready, although it looks like a little light for Fitz up top here. Not that Babar is much better with a single rifles Piet and 2 HMGs. This is why a lot of early rushes into this area here, going for this flag and this flag at the same time, then or as a direct counter, do end up being quite successful, because a lot of the times if you are committing to this map, you do want to secure the southern area, and with the southern area secure, you are in an advantageous position, so it usually pays off to deploy quite light over here. But if you are then rushing this position as the blue player, you can get almost 3 flags of your own, and the 3 flags here to the to the 1 flag up here, and potentially 2 more. You tend to be able to put a lot more pressure and force your opponent to invest quite a lot into trying to push you back, which gives you, in my opinion, a fighting chance on this hill. But I don't have the best track record on Slutsk here, having lost to both Onord and, I said him earlier, El Bowser on this very map. And, yeah. Starting down, off-map start again. Gurkha's Rifles, Indian Engineer, Indian Bofors, Vickers HMG, Assault Pioneers, and Sherman 5. We've got a 17 pounder, Indian Scouts, 2 Vickers, 75mm SP auto car. Interesting little thing, that one. Another Engineers, Leader, Gurkha's Rifles, and Indian Assault Pioneers. And then up north, just a 6 pounder, 2 more HMGs, and a Rifles with Piet. Volkssturm in the very north. 2 Flammenwerfers, 2 MG34s, not 42s. Interesting. They're 5 points cheaper, but generally I find the 5 points is worth it for the more expensive NG. The 42 does kill a lot quicker. And then 3 Volkssturm as well. And then down south here, with a very strong opening. 2 Flammenwerfer, 4 Volkssturm, Panzerschreck, Landesführer, Flak Vierling, Pack 40, Panzer 3L. 2 more Flammenwerfer, Sturmpioneer, Landesführer, 2 more Volkssturm, Grenadier with the MG26. And then a 3M and 2 38Ts. Flak Vierling, you need to do a little turnaround there. Not sure, quite sure what causes that, but if you do set them like right next to the road, occasionally they have to loop back around. It's quite humorous. Huh, well, it's not quite aware of just how fast this little thing was. I suppose it is just an autocar with a boys anti-tank rifle and a brain gun on top of it at the end of the day. But if this is Babar, of course, we saw this in the last game, a very big fan of emergency off maps. And this is one moment where emergency off map might be actually really good. Like right here. Please. I want to see it. Yes. Oh no, he put... Okay. Well, the one time we don't need an emergency off map. This is still fine, as long as there's still units down here. But they might advance a bit further. But, you know, he is learning, hopefully, the more effective type of off map here. But all these units, they're gonna get through. It's not quite gonna be quite as effective. Though, having said that, with the delay on it, we might actually see a couple of tanks getting hit, which would be the more expensive target. Pack 40 on the Vickers here. Volkssturm just plicking away with the rifles. They do have 11 rifles, which does make them very effective at that kind of, or relatively effective at that close range for their cost in any case. As we do see the off map now go off. That's so sad. He's just not having any luck. I've jinxed him again. Oh man, I told him at the end of the last battle why is he, or asked him why he constantly uses emergency off maps, because it was a mistake multiple times in the last one, and now that he uses the full barrage here, it does basically nothing. Though I suppose this is a relatively low caliber off map from the looks of things, so maybe the emergency wouldn't have done too much anyway. Another ACP here, just firing his machine gun at these Volkssturm. Did go down, and that will be a very dangerous off map here once it lands. This one not being too effective. 38Ts now coming up. There's a Sherman here, but these 38Ts for whatever reason aren't next to invisible. Whatever push was going to the north, a couple of flamethrowers trying to come in was shut down. Needed to smoke off there, and nothing else really happening just quite yet. Gurkha's rifles, they do have the 3 Thompsons, which does make them actually like quite effective at that close range kind of a fight. Flammenwerfer does go down. As we see the second off map here, just about fire off. Vickers HMG versus Volkssturm. Under normal circumstances, HMG should win, but they are within the rifles range, so that is over 20 rifles coming in there. Off map going down. Gotta force all these Volkssturm to fall back. Unlucky we don't see anything hit the Flammenwerfer, but I guess we do eventually. Panzer 3 getting slightly pinned down. All this infantry falling back. Now, all that's needed is a little bit of follow-up, and this could be quite a good early push here. Without securing this hill, though, it is sometimes not the best idea to push into the town. Although, having said that, you can actually cut off the reinforcement town. I've only seen this done a couple of times because you are putting an AT gun effectively right here. The 2K range of something like a 17-pounder will cut off this reinforcement road. Gurkha's rifles slowly moving forward, though. Flammenwerfer smoked itself off. There's a Sherman up here. You gotta be careful of this Pack 40. As the Bofors actually gets chunked down. Unfortunate, but it is still alive for now. Just leaves it more open to something like this Panzerwerfer. Indian engineers, they do get their explosive off on the Sturmpioneer, taking it out. Quite good kill there. But once these are out of the forest, they're not going to be too much of a hassle. Having said that, there's a Pack 36 down here. Now, if he turns off the AP shells, I'm not sure why the Pack 36 like prefers to just fire AP shells all the time at every single target. But these heat shells, they can go through Sherman, and all you need is one shot. They're like a little Puppian almost in their effectiveness. Little bit of a delayed reaction here in getting the assault going. None of these units quite went down here. And there wasn't too much to really push with the Sherman having died. Ooh, what happened to that? I guess it did. Yeah, came up and got shot by that pack. Undoubtedly. There is a Sherman here though now, but 3-star Pack 36 coming up. It's a dangerous unit here if you let it get within that 750 meter range. Field Engineer's going in for the MG26. I believe he still has one more off-map charge, if I'm not wrong. Yep. Getting pinged on weird services. Panzerwaffe did fire a couple shells at the 17-pounder. Is going to re-aim as we see this last off-map charge come down. Was there a Faust against the Sherman? Yeah, that could very well be it. Volkssturm do have that higher range of not range. What I'm talking about. But yeah, 17-pounder taking out this 38T. Good fallback here on this 17-pounder though. The Panzerwaffe on not quite getting the kill. We are going to see this second off map here drop in just a second, but there's another Storm Pioneer now, and really not a lot of infantry left for Babar as he chooses to invest here in an artillery piece. It is 11-13 right now because of this flag. The Volkssturm and the Gurkha's rifles facing off. The Volkssturm having the better camouflage there, but versus two Bren guns might not stand a chance even with the green cover. Off map does go down, stopping anything that any kind of assault that was forming up here, but not being too deadly. This is definitely one of those off maps that you need to follow up with, and there's just nothing to follow up with here. A commander coming in, actually. Interesting to see. It's gonna both Landesvorrat in the south. Huh. That's gonna provide good veterancy though to not only that flak feeling, and dual star flak feeling is just absolutely deadly, but also gonna provide his frontline infantry here with some veterancy, as well as this one over here. 3-star, 3L right now. There's a Sherman here. And this off-map vehicle can now be used offensively, having the use up the last of its charges. Not that it's too effective, it is just a Bren gun and AP rifle. Panzer III going down to this 17-pounder up here. A good kill to delete some armor in the center here, but now there's a 231 up north for these two, for these two flags, which can be very, very dangerous. These very effective BL 4.5 inch though, taking fire at the Pack 40. But one of the things here that Babar has done with his deck is he's chosen the Indian Engineer leaders over the regular rifles leaders. And the problem with Indian Engineer leaders is they don't have radio. I think it's not so bad up here because the ACP-4 does have radio with the off-map one, but this one I'm not too sure about. Regardless, is getting fire onto that. Pack 40 forced to move back for the time being, which might be all that's needed. Multiple Gurkha's rifles and rifles. Piets coming in here. 2 more Assault Pioneers. Ooh, one of them going down, trying to get into position. The other one now up against multiple Volkssturm together with the Pioneers. They do have an MP28, making them just that little bit more effective. Pack 36, taking aim. He's turned off the AP shells, as he should, and marked the off-map here, or marked the BL-14. And there we see the heat shell. A lot of people underestimate these things because when they use them, they're using them with the AP shells and they're not getting on target, but 750 meter range. The AT guns, they are deadly. They're little Puppians almost. Boston coming in though. Dual star flak feeling. Does kind of target for quite a while. Gets the kill. But the ACP Mark IV goes down, or 2A. Bofors now in danger from going down to this Panzer III. Sherman, of course, having gone down, so that Bofors is also going to go down. Quite a forward Bofors there for Babar, as this whole hill almost collapses here. Ooh. Dangerous, dangerous as we enter into Phase B. It's still 12-12. Fitz here on the balanced income. And because he is on that balanced income, all he has to do is not majorly lose. So go 15-9, and he'll be fine for the rest of the game, essentially. We did eventually see Babar push in last game, but yeah, I am wondering here, Petra being a very strong division, if we are going to get a repeat of that. Engineer leader should get a satchel charge on this Volkssturm, no problem. Take it out, but Volkssturm are only 15 points. Multiple Gurkha's rifles, though, also moving forward. Pack 40 is out of ammo, so something else has got to come in here. Another flak feeling, though. We'll go up on this hill. No leader for that, so we'll just remain 1 star for now. But this south is looking very precarious, as 2 Shermans actually coming to reinforce. They will do good against the 3M, at least double teaming them, but there is still a Pack 36 over here. And if he gets too close, could very well be a repeat of the last time. Gurkha's rifles, though, kind of shut down that Pack 40. Not much they can do there. Storm Pioneer out in the open versus Assault Pioneers. Neither of them can shoot at each other. 6-pounder as the Volkssturm going for this. Oh, we might see the 2-3-1 go down here, but there is still going to be a bunch of infantry there. Does get the kill. It's a very important kill there. But Gurkha's rifles pinned down and forced to fall back here. Flag going to Fitz for the time being. Taking fire again. Sherman stopping to shoot at this infantry that's trying to assault the center, and the center position for Babar as well seems to have very much not been going in his favor. Sherman shooting at the Volkssturm as the 3M gets free shots onto the Indian scouts there. ACP with its single Bren gun trying to prevent the southern flanking push here for this flag. We actually see a 14-10 for Fitz for the time being, as a 189 A2 comes out. I was almost expecting to see these at the start, which may be why Babar actually brought the Bofors in. But these are some nasty, nasty rushing airplanes. The combination of recon plus the 50 kilogram HE bombs, and with good enough speed so it doesn't immediately run away, it can be very, very potent in openers. There is a Sherman coming up here, though, who is going to stop that 30AT, no problem. Interesting, though, that this Vickers actually doesn't see these fun alphas. $59 now. This flag also going down to Fitz. Together with these two. It's a very precarious situation here. There's just a couple of units of infantry, but Volkssturm, they're so cheap that it's not a loss if you replace them. And right now, holding ground is really all you need. As we see, has that Stoughton. Why? I'm sure he knows what he's doing. He's a very good player, but in terms of units, you have in this deck, right, in Tatra, Landesschützen, which have more men than Ersatztruppen and a machine gun for the same price. What's the point of the 8-man carbines when you've got a much better squad to use in this deck for that purpose? The push here in the center, though, with all the infantry, gets shut down by a single MG. And Stuka being used to strafe from the looks of it. Not being too effective there. The 2 MGs obviously just can't hold up. Bofors has to unload early because of it, though. And does get the kill. And the Assault Pioneers get shut down by the Ersatztruppen. MG-34 is still firing away at these Gurkha's rifles. Nothing. There's no recon in this church, so this 17-pounder, despite all the reinforcements coming in and it being in a good position, has not been able to see anything this entire game. We really see the units flooding in now as we see that Phase B income really pick up, but there's only 2 Shermans here, and the Shermans are flooding the field slowly. I do believe Babar will be able to stabilize this. The question is after he stabilizes, can he beat the excellent close range here, or excellent just amount of infantry you can lay down on the field here with Panzer Division Tatra to get certain flags back, like this one and this one. Couple of reinforcements coming up here as this push is completely shut down. Sherman just being a perfect counter there, something like that. Another BL 4.5 inch coming in. This one does provide good fire, but without the radio anywhere here, it is certainly dangerous. As we see, one Volkssturm unit forces the call-in of 2 of these Vickers HMGs. Not what you want to see. Back 40 also coming up to this position. A very sneaky green cover position that a lot of people often overlook. You can get into it. It doesn't quite show it just because it is on the very edge. But yeah, it's in the green cover now, and you almost get great line of sight down this road. And then anytime there's like an armored push here, which happens quite often because it is slightly more in the open, the pack can engage the armored units there. So very dangerous there. Not quite getting on target just yet. Might be firing at something else for the time being. Dual Shermans though. Ooh. One of them does get hit. Goes down. Unlucky that none of those shots missed, and second Sherman are forced to fall back here. 2 more Shermans though coming in to reinforce the center position. I think Babar is really just hoping for a complete shutdown of this. Got to be careful though with the Sherman trying to clean up these infantry. These Volkssturm, they do have Panzerfausts. Has more as that's hoping flood in here. Sturm Pioneer as well. Gonna be, well, actually 6-pounder microed away for the time being. Boston coming in again. 2-star flak feeling. Doesn't quite look like it's in commander range. This battery fear might be better positioned, but not a big problem for the time being. Oh, please don't happen. Please no. Ah, terrifying. Terrifying. Volkssturm, whenever they get a frickin' Panzerfaust kill, they really do a ton of damage. Back 40 now and a Panzer 3, multiple Panzer 3s coming in. I think we can call this game pretty much here. No, I don't quite want to say it just about yet. 17-pounder still doing good work. Has shut down one of the tanks here. Oh. Doesn't go down, doesn't get the hit though. The bomber did take out the Pack 40 down south. Sherman's a bit more free to move. 1 health AT gun finally gets the kill on that, but there's just so many units coming in. And actually, it would be quite hilarious to see Fitz if he brought Landesschützen in C phase. I'm not sure if the card can actually come in C phase, but that would be like 32 15-point infantry. You could just flood the whole map, which does make it so dangerous, really. A lot of Babar's B phase income has come in trying to stabilize, really, which is not the thing you want to see against the B phase player. Quite honestly, this is why, one of the reasons why, at least, that Panzer Division Tatra is so feared in certain circles, I would say, because it's just so darn cost effective. Sherman's getting caught out again on this Pack 40. Does have line of sight. Ooh, does miss. Does get pinned down thanks to the help of the Vickers here. So he's got to go down, which does leave some room for some shenanigans to happen. But with the Jagdpanzer 4 coming in, there's no hope that this push or all this investment down south will pay off. Although I suppose there is no AA here. I do expect to see Flak 88s at some point, but one of those excellent AT planes that the British or the Indians here get could provide very, very useful. I swear to God, if the folks should kill off of Vickers. Good. Jeez. Took him long enough. Another pack coming up, though. Looks like he's going to get pushed off this hill, but that will only bring it back to the 12-12. These, like, 3 units here providing so much value. The Indian rifles and just having to chunk down these units for so much. It's very tough to see, really. Pack 36. Uh-oh. It's gunning for that Sherman again as the Sherman comes in to support the Indian rifles and the Gurkha's rifles here. ACP Mark IV, without killing the Volkssturm, has run out of ammo, so now it's just sitting there. The Panzerwaffe being used to good effect to fire on the hill this entire time. And we see Indian 25-pounders here, which are an interesting call-in when your front is the equivalent of a wet noodle. Finally the 12-12, but it's C phase now. More Ersatztruppen coming in. Oh man. Slowly, the units of Fitz here have been whittled down, but there's just so many of them that Babar really hasn't had enough pushing power to force them back. Fuck feeling deleting Gurkha's rifles. You'll have to see it. Yak Panzer IV got the kill on the Sherman here, and there's just so many Shermans have gone down. We've seen probably 8 over the course of this map, and there's only 4 left. So, not great. Looks like the Gurkha's rifles are going to find the MG-26 Grenadier here, which would mean the end for this pack 36, but as long as these are still pushing up, given the 2-star veterancy, they actually are not that terrible. They do only have rifles, but 2-star veterancy gives them a lot of resilience that they wouldn't otherwise have. There's another Panzer 3M up here now. Indian rifles, of course, not having the Piat or any kind of AT to deal with this Panzer 3. So, what does Babar do here in this situation? He's got a bunch of artillery up on the field, but 40 points of income, and just blindly firing. The Indian rifles did go down here. This Pack 36 does have an opportunity, though it does have to get past the rifles leader. That's almost out of sniper ammo from the looks of things. As this one Volkssturm unit forces another buy-in of a Gurkha's rifles. Just the small little efficiencies, and oh, it's firing AP. Damn. Oh well. I don't think that kill would have made things any worse, really, for Fitz here. Still sitting on 12-12 at this point. There's still a Panzer III over here. He still controls most of the map, and now, really, the bar might not surrender. He does seem to be a very tenacious player. But in 3 minutes, Fitz is going to go over to having the income advantage quite heavily. So that's the point where the income equalizes, like the total amount of income over the 20 minutes that have elapsed or so. The income of the balanced player will eclipse the income of the Maverick player. Bunch of infantry going down here. This push shut down basically by a single Panzer III. Hurricane finally coming in. Boston as well. Looks like the Boston went for the same target. Does get the kill here. But Veers left. That's not where you want to go. G2 as well. Now he's over at 2-star flag feeling. The other one did go down. But the G2 on the back of that one now has nothing to shoot at but this. And goes down handily. The veterancy net quite impressive here for Fitz. These units suppressed once again by the Panzerwaffe. There is still a Sherman up here to deal with, but there's a 3L, and I would expect to see another one of those tiny little AT guns coming in at any point. Actually, gotta be careful of that Jagdpanzer. Flag 88 with ammunition coming in now. 13-11 for Babar. He's got 30 minutes to somehow, with 80 points of income, turn this into a victory, and I just don't see it happening. He actually did warn me that that I was going to jinx him if I streamed this. So it looks like that's happened again. Babaryann now coming in for the other one. But also, he alluded to me that he was drinking. So no offense to Babar or anything. A very good player in my opinion. But strategy games and alcohol really don't mix. Yeah. As the chat says, Babar has been running Sherman straight into danger this entire game. The Shermans down south have evaporated. The Shermans at the middle have evaporated. Like, I'm pretty sure we saw 2 more Sherman call-ins here since I pointed out that we had lost 4 of the 8. And now there's no Shermans left on the field except for this one. Is pushing forward aggressively, but Fitz has the income to call in other things. And actually, Tatra is, I would say, the perfect Sherman counter division. So if you're ever going up against 9th Guards Mechanized or a lot of Commonwealth divisions, Tatra's the thing to go. And why is that? Is because they have not only the Jagdpanzers, which are impervious to Shermans, right? As we'll see very shortly here, unless a hurricane miraculously saves this Sherman or something. But also, they also get a card of those Hetzas. And the Hetza, so the Jagdpanzer 38T, is also impenetrable by Shermans and has a Pack 40 on it. So you've got multiple cards of units that just are hard Sherman counters. And they're not even that more expensive than a Sherman, right? It's a factor of 20 points for something that a Sherman just can't deal with. Jagdpanzer 4, dual Indian Rifles leaders in the center here now. But this Jagdpanzer 4 is going to shut everything down unless we see another 17-pounder. Loader kill on the Sherman. It's running away as fast as it can from that Jagdpanzer, but with the D5 coming after it. Or, well, the D5 seems to be going for other things, but not quite what you like to see. 17-pounder, not in range to kill anything just about yet. As the Stukas can also be a very big headache if you've got no AA. There's a Bofors down here at 3 health as the dive bombers come in for this infantry. Watch another Sherman go down to a frickin' Panzerfaust. Doesn't quite see it in time, I don't think, but jeez, that would have been nasty. But so have all the other times that we've had this bid. Puzzle gonna deal with MG26s also being very good in fights like this just because they are versatile, almost like Rifles Piet or something, right? The brain guns, they do fire within the 100-meter range, but so do the MG26s, and I would say the MG26s have the upside. As Wolframen kills off one of these leaders, there's another one down here, so still a bunch of influence surprise, but Gurkha's rifles getting the surrender there. They're all he has to do is, once again, push these units forward, and eventually Babar's entire front line is just going to collapse. As we saw in the last game, he can try as many miracles as he wants, and he can even potentially get quite close, but he doesn't even have the, like, ticked advantage. In the last game, at least, he was quite high up compared to Fitz, so there was something to hold out for. But Babar here, yeah, goes for the surrender. 2,165 losses to 3,040 kills. Whew. Interesting match. But just the efficiency. Like, a single Volkssturm here killed 3 units. Up here as well. HMG, Assault Pioneers, Engineers. Like, these are 15-point units, and they're getting such efficiency. 4 units here, Sherman's going down to Volkssturms. Every time one of these units get a kill, they're guaranteed to pay themselves off, and this shows in the team stats here. Like, it's not that they weren't trading maybe like 1-to-1 unit to unit, but his units cost 15 points, and Babar's costed 25 or more. Jeez. Well, Fitz, you sure do love your Ersatztruppen, but you do have Landesschützen in this division. They're so much better. Definitely consider taking them, but I guess if you're that big of a fan of Ersatz, I guess do what you want. But well played to both players. And so game 2 also going to Fitz. Thank you for watching. And, well, goodbye.